What a game. What an absolute cracker of a game. Celtic, Rio Hatate. Rio Hatate turned up. Rio Hatate did what we all wanted them to do today. And it was fantastic. He turned up today. He turned up today. It was fantastic to watch. Lewis Palma, fantastic player. He is going to be some player. Scales are he's another one that's just having an on form time at the moment. Tamak's in the house, Slaven's in the house, Paul Imrie's in the house just now. See if we can get some more people online. Let me just do this, get some of the comments. So tell me in the comments what you think of the game, because I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I thought that Rio Hatate up the project, said Francis. Celtic, what an absolute fantastic game. That's all I can say. What an absolute fantastic game. Obviously, David Watson was it, got one back for Kilmarnock. What happened with the referee at that point? When Greg Taylor gets taken out of the game, let's not even talk about it. Let's not even talk about it. Let's talk about the positives. Let's talk about the positives. Let's talk about Rio Hatate finally standing up, chin up, shoulders back, chest out, and Rio, just hold my pint, lads. Look, I'm the best midfielder at Celtic. You all know it. None of yous are getting my jumper. And what a performance. We all said last night we were due a good performance. Lorna, hail, what a performance that was. Lee Watts, only hail from Brecon, says Rod Ali Johnson. Stephen Falkert, the Ackies or BBC Alba Live. I think my comment last night woke Hatate up, says Robert. Evening Troops told you Hatate needed to play and find his form. Yes, he did. We all said that Rio Hatate needed to play. And I think he was watching this channel last night when he got the vote of no confidence by the majority of the fans. Liam Scales, San Francisco Celtic. Liam Scales is the best defender at the club. People were saying in the pub that they thought that Cameron Carter-Vickers was looking unfit. You've got to give him time. You've got to give him time. Silly goal to lose. Was it a silly goal to lose? It should have been called back for a foul. I mean, in fact, that the ref looked at it with VAR, and if he didn't see it was a foul on Greg Taylor, it was just terrible. Absolutely terrible. There's only one Rio, and he dances in the sand. Says Ian. Agreed, Brad. Fantastic game. The boy Scales was amazing again too. I tell you, Liam Scales, he's just brilliant just now. It's just absolutely brilliant. It was a case of who do you pick for man of the match. I thought Matt O'Reilly had a little bit of a quiet game, but that's because Rio Hatate was so good. Rio Hatate was absolutely brilliant. So I'm just waiting on Celtic putting out their stuff, but I'll see. They'll probably be about another half hour or so yet. The ref was a donkey, says Tamak. Yep. If only Maidan Keel. Oh, don't even get me started with Dyson. Right, James Forrest is getting a lot of stick. James Forrest tells him to go inside, tells him to run into the middle of the park. James Forrest does him for pace on the outside, and then Dyson decides to have a shot himself. When Dyson's done all the hard work by pulling the defenders into the middle of the park with him, and then James Forrest tries to get the rebound and he doesn't get it. Anyway, that was only the bad bit of the game. I felt sorry for only getting a couple of minutes again since Francis Celtic. Yeah, Taylor was good. Taylor was unlucky with that shot. That shot in the first half when Taylor had it on the volley. He was so unlucky that went over. Les Watt says, really good that we persisted with Rio. And Brendan giving the players a game, which is a clever management. It is that. I think O needs more game time, though. Bringing O on for the last 5 minutes of a game is no good for him as a player. We need to get him on for at least 15 minutes. If Scales was Italian, he'd be worth about 30 million. Let's not beat about the bush. He'd be worth about 30 million if he was Italian. Let's get some more of the comments. The police need to look at that ref. That's right. Let me see. Fungus Herd. Did you do a video about dropping Hatate when he's on his game? I did a video asking the question. Fungus Herd. I did a video asking the question: should Rio Hatate be dropped? And then I also followed it up with saying, look, he maybe needs to drop because he's not his best form. He needs to produce his best form. He needs to go out there and make sure. And there was a vote last night, and there was 61% of people on the video voted to drop Rio Hatate today. So 61% of the Celtic fans last night. So Ali Jones says, I think it's all coming together beautifully. I said that a few months ago. I said, the time we get to the end of October, we've now got a break. Cameron Carter-Vickers is back a schedule way ahead of schedule. And I think that you're now starting to see the nucleus of the team. When you look at the bench, the players that came on, which finally started to go up. I mean, look at it. It started with Hart, Johnson, Carter, Vickers, Scales, Taylor, McGregor. People have been given Greg Taylor sticks. Greg Taylor was fantastic today again. He gets dragged in. The only thing that I've got with Greg Taylor, and this is maybe a bit down to Brendan Rodgers, he's getting dragged in midfield. I don't know if this is Brendan that's playing him like that. And then if that case, are we then playing with a back three? And it's maybe a case where the game like that, he knows that he can afford to grab Taylor and put him in the middle of the park more. But it does leave that side open, and you can see that Scales is having to get over and cover that side. That's the only talking point that I would say, tactically wise, we get shown up in Europe, and we've seen that against Lazio. Lazio attacked that side all night long. So that's the only thing that I would say tactically that we need to be aware of going forward, because teams will start picking up on that. Teams will start picking up the fact that Greg Taylor's getting, going into the middle of the park to try and free up Callum McGregor and Hatate to go forward. But a good team is going to pick up on that, and they're going to target that side, and we might come a cropper against it, like we did in Europe the other night. And then after Taylor, you've got McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate, Maeda, Palma, and Kyo. How do you think Palma did? He did absolutely fantastic, as we knew he would. And it was good that the manager used the time appropriately. I did say that Cameron Carter-Vickers would play about 65 minutes. He played 72 minutes before he came off, and then Phillips came on. That's just all about managing and getting him back to fitness, which is absolutely brilliant by the manager. Bringing on Phillips, Yang, O, and Forrest was a good move. I thought Forrest, he was a bit unlucky, the fact that Dyson didn't kick it out to him. I thought, he's got an open goal and then he tries to hit the rebound and he's up against it with the rebound. He was a bit unlucky. Kyogo hits the post. Kyogo's bound to be thinking that, geez, what have I got to do to score just now? Once he starts banging them in, we're on the verge. We're on the verge of, and I said it, come December, we always give teams a tanking. Come December, we always give teams a 5, 6, 7-0, and it's coming to fruition just at the right time. Time we get to the end of the month, but then going into November, you'll see this Celtic team starting to gel and click and find its form, which will finally, and then we're only going to get better. We're 10 points ahead of the other lot who play tomorrow. And well, we are still top of the league. I never even checked how the other results have affected it. Obviously, we've played 8. We've got a goal difference of 14. We're on 22 points. The other 2 play tomorrow. Heart of Midlothian are on 11. Oh, tell me Hearts dropped points today. Did Hearts and Hibs draw? Oh, for goodness sake, Hearts and Hibs. A 2-2 draw with Hearts and Hibs. I was really hoping that When was the last time Hibs got a result like that at Tynecastle? When was the last time Hibs got a result like that at Tynecastle? Usually that's a banker for the Hearts to win the game. And Motherwell lost to Livingston. And that dodgy pitch, though. I was kind of hoping that Hearts would win and they would leapfrog the Sevco. That's disappointing. That's disappointing for today. Totally, that's just killed my mood. No, it's not, because we're still top of the league on 22 points. We're 10 points ahead of the Sevco and a good few points ahead of St Mirren in second. And I think St Mirren will still be in second come tomorrow. It's just pray to God. Right, let's get some of the comments back up and see what you're all saying. Alex Wright sleeps in a coffin when he's on the night shift. Yes, Motherwell pumped. Yep. I had to drop points. That's unbelievable. Anyway, right. Diets were up 2-0 as well. It's one of those results that you're expecting. Bad weather and Govan -10 over there. It's cold. That's cold. That was great to watch today, said Lorna. Even my dog sat watching it. Did Celtic TV cut out for anyone else? Because the Celtic TV was cutting out here. It wasn't where I was watching it, but it was cutting out. Forrest right behind Greg Taylor. Ready to bury that. Yep. I can see Mikey back into the site. Can you see Mikey Jordan? Someone said that in the pub, actually. Mikey Johnson needs to start ahead of some of these players. Mikey Johnson's been out injured for a long time. So he's got to wait. He's got to bide his turn, as they say. He's got to wait his turn. He can get back into the team. But I think that James Forrest was unlucky the other week when the goalkeeper got sent off. Tati's gone. Taylor got the goals. Yep. Really pleased with Hatate. Hope he pushes on now. It says Hazel. Yes. Stuart says he's getting a wee bit excited about Palma. I told you weeks and weeks ago that Lewis Palma, everything that I said about him is hopefully coming true. He is going to be a one. He is now undroppable. John says, not on his IPTV. It was bang on. Um, Hearts were winning at one point. I know, that's absolutely unbelievable. Even Barry, hail from Paul Burrow from Glasgow. Had the game on Kelly TV. Couldn't get Celtic TV, said Talmac. Interesting. No, right. And yet everyone had Hatate drop, said Samuel. But they also had a caveat behind that, Samuel. So let's not. They all wanted dropped and then to come in and prove it, right? I think Brendan Rodgers is turned around to Rio Hatate and said, "Look, Rio, you need to prove. You need to go out there and show everyone why you're the number one midfield player at the club." Or it might have even been said, "Look, if you don't do it today, I pull you off in the 60-minute marks, the next game after the international break, you're not going to play. I'm going to put someone else on, somebody start." It's that kind of thing. That's the man management could have been that easy for Rio Hatate to go, "I'm bossing this game today. You know, I'm bossing this game. It's as simple as that. I'm going to show everyone why I'm the number one midfield player at this club. I'm going to show everyone why I got that 5-year deal." And it's absolutely fantastic that it did. And everyone that voted for him to get dropped, we've all got egg on our face. Let's face it, we've all got egg on our face. Tati deserved to be dropped, and he just showed us up again, says Stevie Boy. He did that. He did. When you look at form of players, Rio, he had too many bad passes. Today, it was absolutely immense. He was taking on players. He was coming back with Calmac, and he was being that box to box midfield player that we know he can be. He was making fantastic runs. His touch was brilliant. He switched it back up a gear. He went, right, okay. He's probably been reading some of the comments online, and he knows he's been getting criticism. You know, he knows he's been getting, but he'll know himself. He would have been disappointed in himself. Anyway, we move on. We're top of the league. Let's just see how many thumbs up we have. I've only 36 thumbs up, so make sure you give the thumbs up and share it on social media if you can. Jimmy Savile, Pat McGuire's on it tonight again. Jimmy Savile and Earl Mountbatten were babysitters for Prince Charles and Edward. They went through gallons of baby oil. Sorry, I don't know why I did it in that voice. Anyway, let's move on for that. Hail from North London, everyone. Mappy says Hatate was knackered at the. Did you see that? Did you see that? But he gave an absolute masterclass. You're right. He ran himself into the ground, and you could see him, and he made some fantastic runs. And neither a huddle coach for Hatate. Yeah, everyone's been saying that at the start. I want to see Bernardo, says Stevie Boy. Yeah, I want to see Paulo as well. I think he. But who do you drop? Who do you drop to bring in Paulo Bernardo? That's one of the hardest decisions that the manager's got. And the fact that we've only got him on loan for this season, you know, if he doesn't get a lot of game time this season, do we still pay the money for him? They pay the 6.5 million? I don't know. That's one of the hardest decisions that Brendan's got. But it's a decision that has to be made by him. Tomorrow we'll be 10 clear of them. We're 10 clear of them just now. Estepona boy, how are you? You're in the house. Excellent performance after Wednesday's disappointment. Inverted fullbacks. The inverted fullbacks were at it again today. I mean, well, Greg Taylor was. When you look at the back line, Scales is always covering for Greg Taylor. You never see Cameron Carter-Vickers having to go out and cover for Alistair Johnson, because Alistair Johnson's got that pace to get back, and he knows how to defend, and he's not scared to put a bit of dig in and defend. And I think going forward in Europe, we have to watch that again, because that's what caught us out against Lazio. That's definitely what caught us out. Rio dropped at 60 minutes for Bernardo. Yeah, that's what we all said last night. But you've got to say, Rio Hatate was on that good form today. You couldn't have taken him off today. No way. He was man of the match. You couldn't have taken him off. Palmer's clean and snappy shot like that. That shot, everyone is shouting for him to shoot, and he makes a silly pass, and then he gets the ball back. He controls the ball, and then that shot that he took was probably the harder part of the shot. It was fantastic. You can't drop him. You cannot drop Palma. You cannot. You cannot drop Palma for now. It's just a shame that it's now the friggin' International Football Week again. Just as we get a bit of flow, we get disrupted. And that's what I hate about international weeks. Absolutely detest international weeks, but I'll need to watch some games next week just to see what's going on in the international scene. Gerard says, brilliant. We've done Celtics, still crap weather in Glasgow, but brilliant weather in Spain. It is that. It is fantastic weather here. Always is. Nappy, 15 million. 15 million for who? And Lorna says, roasting Clyde back. I'm in my hot tub. We don't really needed to know that. That's far too much information. Far too much information. Graham Hardy says, Rio off and running now. He's only going to get better. Graham is that. He's going to be back to his normal self. He's going to be back to being completely undroppable. And I think it's when you look at the team now, right? When you look at that lineup, Hart, Johnson. In fact, I should have it up here. Let me just put it back up. There. Right, there's the team from today. When you look at that lineup, right? Hart, Johnson, Carter, Vickers, Scales, Taylor, McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate, Maeda, Palma, and Keogh. Who do you drop? People are going to say Taylor. Taylor had a fantastic game today. Who do you drop and bring in that team? Who do we? Because that for me, that's your strongest first team now. That's your first. That's your starting 11 week in week out until Christmas anyway. There'll be changes for the Scottish Cup. I think there'll be changes for the Scottish Cup, but that starting 11 that is down there, that's your best starting 11 just now. And I think they're the players that have grabbed the bull by the horn and said, "Yep, this is my shirt. I'm not letting it go." Rio Hatate stood up to it today and went, "Do you know what, lads? I've heard you're all wanting my shirt. You're all trying to take the shirt off my back. Not a chance. Hold my pint, or hold my whatever it is they drink in Japan, and you're not getting it. It's fine. This shirt is mine. This shirt is mine." Maeda today as well. Yep. Smell of Glove said, watch that view from the terrace. Two diets. Fair play to Hatate. Richard, but he looks more interested in the game just down. Hatate Day, it was beautiful to watch, and he had his dancing shoes on. I'm on the Saints tomorrow. Hold my pint. Oh, says Palma. I mean, for me, isn't it a pint? Is it? Is it? What is it they drink in Japan again? Hello, you there? What did they drink in Japan? What did they drink in Japan? Drink sake.
What did they drink in Spain?
In Japan.
Or in Japan? Sake.
Sake. Yeah, it is. Sake. Sake. Hold my sake. Hold my sake. You're not getting it. I think he's got a wee bit of Glasgow tang just now. Hold my sake. That's Sunderland Celtic's got it. Hold my sake. Luckily, it's no ball in front of it. Right, let's get on. Kieran says, I still want to see a young guy who got sent off in Europe get a run. He looked a baller when he came on. Who's that? Is that O? That's O you're talking about. Or are you on about Gustav? Gustav couldn't even make the bench today. This is how strong the squad's finally getting. Taylor's the weakest player in the squad, and he's undroppable. We're looking good. It's something today. I'll tell you, one heard of Sake. That's strong. Ohm, yeah, I think Ohm, the fact that he came on and had a good game again. When you look at Muhammad Onaki, that's not even right. That's not even right. No, the guy in the middle. Yeah, the guy in the middle is Ohm. That's who got sent off, is it not? Anyway, not the squad, starting 11. Sake, you get blooted. Hatate's goal was goal of the month, and we're just in the first week of October. Did you hear the gasp from the crowd when we watched the replay? I never heard it because I was at the pub, and the pub doesn't have the volume up loud enough for everyone to hear it. Right, let's get to some of the headlines and see what the headline. The Irish Times says Celtic bounce back from European disappointment to win over Kilmarnock. Brendan Rodgers' men with 2 goals ahead of the first half. Rio Hatate and Lewis Palma, who's saying an absolutely fantastic. Lewis, for me, that was a cracking goal also. Celtic bounced back for the Champions League disappointment. They watched it get one back through the second half. Greg Taylor added it. Greg Taylor scores a goal from a corner. Why are we not talking about that? Celtic scored from a corner. When was the last time Celtic scored from a corner? Taylor played well, says Chris. We need another left back, if possible. And then Johnson, competition. We've got one. We've got a left back, but see, people he can't even get in the team, and he's not even in the Champions League squad. So you've got to feel for Bernabe. You've got to feel for Bernabe because he has to be at least a half decent player. But he's just not getting the chance at all. He's just not getting the chance at all. I think Bernardo might do a job up front. Watching these videos on YouTube, says Kieran is an attacking midfield player, right? So that position that he's playing in, you're looking at him playing instead of either Hatate or Matt O'Reilly when you look at the team. So, and which one of those do you drop? I think squad rotation is going to have to come into it a lot more. Brendan's going to have to smell the glove, just said it. Brendan's going to change the squad over the next 2 windows. We'll get more players in for his one touch football. Exciting times ahead. If Lowell and Son back him. If Lowell and Son, look, we were talking about this in the pub. Celtic are going to get 30 million minimum for this Champions League campaign. We've got 74 million in the bank. With all the other expenses and the money that we've made through this season and the sale of Jota and everybody, we're going to be sitting the end of this season, we're going to be sitting with over 100 million cash in the bank. That's just unbelievable. That's unbelievable. We're going to be sitting with 100 million in the bank. Surely we have to go out and we have to spend at Christmas time. We'll talk about the winter window and over the next week or so during the international break. We'll talk about the winter window then and where we need to really strengthen it. We're needing a left back, we're needing a goalkeeper. Could be the fact that Celtic need 2 goalkeepers at the end of the season. Because let's face it, there's an ex-Dundee United goalkeeper, Benji Siegrist, that's at Celtic just now, and he cannot get near the team. And he's seemingly not even interested. Desmond going on a nice golf holiday then. He doesn't get any of the money, that's the thing. I made a comment here before the Champions League match against Lazio that Hatate will come good. He's too good a player. He had a dip in form. And yeah, he did. He did have a dip in form. And when players have a dip in form, there's either 2 reactions that they get. Right? He comes on, he plays for 60 minutes today, then gets dropped the next game. The manager says, look, you're just not on it. You need dropped on the bench for a week. Or he comes into the game today and he knows that he's not been performing at his best. And he did what he did today. He was absolutely immense. He was unstoppable. From the very first minute, you knew he was in the mood. You just knew Rio Hatate was in the mood, and it was absolutely bad. Scales at left back. People keep on going about Scales at left back, and then Cameron Carter-Vickers and Phillips in the middle. Oh, that one Barca player sadly bad. Jamie, I must have missed your first comment. Bernardo good for the 2 touches when he came on the other night. He was that. Kieran, I'm just thinking that we need to rest Kyogo. Bernardo might do a job up front. Nah, he's not a striker. He's not a striker. He's a centre midfield player. He can either sit at the back of the midfield or he's an attacking midfield player. Plays through the centre, more chance of changing the system a bit and Dyson Meyer again. But Dyson shooting boots are just terrible just now. Catch you later, Baz says, John, I'm off for an obscure amount of gas. It's quite right too. Scales is solid in the centre. Yep, and he's completely unstoppable. He's undroppable also. Something he says, if Lowell wants to read his project assets, we need to play them. Squad rotation is important. Squad fresh and fast, definitely. Something I totally get that with it. Can't leave Taylor out. He's playing well. DJ says that is exactly. You can't leave Greg Taylor out. That team on the screen just now: Hart, Johnson, Carter-Vickers, Scales, Taylor, McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate, Maida, Palma, and Kyogo. That is your team. That is pretty much. There's not one of those players that are droppable just now. Scales is worth 40 million now, says Stephen. No, you can't leave Taylor out. You cannot. And if Greg Taylor scores one of those goals today, and nobody's even talking about dropping Greg Taylor. If he hits that screamer for just outside the box, if he gets his body over that and he manages to get that in the back of the net, just under the crossbar, absolutely nobody is talking about dropping Greg Taylor. Being at the League Cup is a blessing in disguise, says Kieran. Mappy says it'll be hard to get on the bench now, never alone the starting 11. Exactly. And this is one of the things that I said. When you look at the bench was obviously Bain, you've got Phillips, Yang, Ohm, Tomoki Awata, Bernardo, Forrest, and Ralston. Who do you drop off that bench? Who do you drop off the bench to then bring in? It's an unbelievable bench. It's a completely unbelievable bench. Let's see if Celtic have released anything as yet. Nope, nothing yet. Let's see some more of the headlines, see what some people are saying. Derek McInnes accused Celtic of trying to bully the. Oh, come on, Derek McInnes. Your team were absolutely ranked today. You got what you deserved, Derek McInnes, today. You sat back and you tried to play a system that good teams will break you down. If you're going to sit that far back, and in the first half, even the two guys up front, referee Matthew McDermott pointed to the spot after Hatate and David Watson came together at the edge of the penalty box. VAR, however, blah, 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 blah. And McInnes wasn't happy with Hatate's role. He's a great face. Yeah, I thought VAR decision was correct. My first thought was Hatate had gone down far too easily. Like he was pushed, but he did go down a bit easily. The commandant boss said, "Look, he's going to moan. He got beat 3-1, and he's moaning about a penalty that wasn't given." He said it was poor from Hatate. That was poor for Hatate. That was really poor for Hatate. He went down far too easy. Stevie Boy is having a complete freak out. Stevie Boy, bear in mind. What? Yeah, I even say that. Derek McInnes stretched their gums, the lads, for the good. Yes, exactly. Sob. Commandant's keeper played well. Yeah, the Commandant did play well. I think Scales' value increases after he's had a few more calls up. I think when he gets a call up to the Ireland squad, it's going to be absolutely brilliant for him. It's going to take him on to that next level. And I tell you one thing, he's a player that we need to watch out for because you're going to get teams down in England shouting for him in the next couple of seasons. You're bound to. When you look at that Gump player that we brought up from England that played in defence a few seasons ago, Scales is 10 times better than him. 10 times better. Des McGuinness has a face that you just loved it. Yep, exactly. Man City are looking at Scales. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. Man City are not looking at Scales, surely. No way. No way. That's nah. I don't believe that one. Don't believe that one. Stevie Boy, Monaco, sure. It's not YouTube. No mods, mate. What's Stevie Boy crying at now? Control of what? What's wrong with Stevie Boy? Come and tell me. Come and talk. Why are you saying YouTube? I'm not going to swear. Anyway, let's move on. And I don't even think there's any moderators on because there's nobody doing anything. No, there is. Right, let's get some. Nearly let him go to Aberdeen. Let him go to Aberdeen. Yeah, we nearly let him go. That's the funniest part. That's the one of the most crazy. That's not even worth thinking about. It's not even worth thinking about. Right, let's see what other headlines are out there about Celtic. Obviously, greeting Facebook. Kinnis has been talking. Celtic have still not put anything up yet. Come on, Celtic, you're usually on the ball. An hour later. Brendan Rodgers left unhappy and calls for VR officials and strange decisions at Celtic Park. Brendan Rodgers calls for refereeing display as he bemoans lack of help. As Brendan Rodgers, Celtic head scratcher insists Kilmarnock goal should not have stood. Exactly. Brendan Rodgers is even saying that the Kilmarnock goal shouldn't have stood because Greg Taylor was pulled back. And it wasn't even a foul. They took it back for a foul, and the referee went, nah, no. Greg Taylor even said to him, he said, what about the foul? And the referee went, where? And he went, up there. Greg Taylor went up there, up the other end of the park. No, what happened to there? What happened there? Brendan Rodgers said Celtic officials at head scratcher. He insisted that Kilmarnock goal should not have stood. The Irishman believed the foul on Greg Taylor at the start of the move led to the visitor scoring. Yeah, that's one of those things, you've just got to let them get on with it. Brendan Rodgers reckons that the referee, Matthew McDermott, needed more help from VAR after the disappointing decision at Celtic Park. Taylor was involved in a tussle with the opposite end of the park, and the attack eventually led to David Watson sliding the ball under Joe Hart. Celtic were denied a penalty when Rio Hatate was bundled over. Rio Hatate, to be fair, went a bit down a bit easy, but he was pushed. He was too, and as was Greg Taylor. Right, so the Green Brigade released a banner. I think it was just during the game. Free Palestine banner. Victory to the resistance. Victory to the resistance. As soon as it swivels, right, we'll drop that and we'll go back and see what other headlines. Everything's coming down to VAR. Celtic are complaining about VAR and the goal, and then you've got Motormouth at Kilmarnock complaining about VAR, saying it was right, and he says, "Oh, who cares? Who cares?" Scales features in to secure Celtic's victory against Scales is going to get so much good press over the next couple of weeks. It's just going to be. He's a player. I can't believe Man City. Surely not. Let me go back to the comments. Scales fan watching the rugby, Stephen, in England are getting beat. Imagine if we were to speak. What we, Stevie boy, imagine where we free speak and speak what we wanted. What are you talking about, Stevie? What are you talking about? I see near Britain is still a ball back. I'm not even going to go down that road. It wasn't Desmond somehow scouted Scales. Yeah, I think it was actually. I'm from Inverness and Scales on the ball is outstanding, says Barry. I'll get that one up because that's a good one. Yes, that Scales is outstanding, and you see him going forward. Remember a couple of videos ago, I did say, look, Scales reminds me of a young Roy Aitken going forward with the ball, and I was slated, completely slated. He's never like a Roy Aitken. He's never like a Roy Aitken, but today, him going forward was a bit like a Roy Aitken type player. He was definitely like a Roy Aitken type player for me, coming out of defence, having total control of the ball, and then going up right through the park. I think Scales is passing is awesome. Danny says, what type of performance we needed in the league. We'll power on now. Yes, I think so, Steve Boy. Imagine the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, the YouTube algorithm holds my videos back, and it doesn't get me as many views as some of the other channels out there. But I don't care. And I mean, it's all numbers game. James, drop. You were all saying drop RIO. That's why you can't handle humble pie hoops. We can handle it. We can handle it. And there's a lot of people saying we've all got egg on our face today, but we're all saying drop him and then bring him on in the 60th minute, or tell him that he's got the first 60 minutes of the game, then he gets took off. And that's enough motivation for a good player. I was watching a documentary last night about David Beckham, and during his time playing for England, and Glenn Hoddle dropped him from the England team in the 90s. And then David Beckham puts that wee kick to the Argentinian guy and gets sent off. Everybody in England was blaming him. And then the manager, Glenn Hoddle, was blaming Beckham as well. And it was kind of like that with Rio. You know, he wasn't at his best. And it's like, do you drop him or you don't? But the manager, we've got a good manager. At that time, you know, Glenn Hoddle was just a donkey. But anyway, trying to compare Rio Hatate to Beckham could be. You never know. Could Rio Hatate be as good as David Beckham? But you need to go to Real Madrid for that, first of all. But I don't think that will happen. He's a good player, and he'll go on further in the game. But I don't think he'll go to Real Madrid. James, let's get back to it. Stevie boy, yeah. And Baz just proves you have to start him. Yep, it's you have to start him. You have to start him. We did say that. We all said it. Everyone said it. Scales is like Aya, but with strength. I think you're probably right there. He's like Christopher Aya, but he's got more strength in him. Totally agree. Been playing good for Mappy says, yep, more praise for the manager. Rodgers is shaping a great team. That will be unstoppable this season. People were saying that in the pub after the game today. Come on, Baz. Roy Aitken was the bear. What skills, but he's no Roy Aitken. He's younger than what Roy Aitken was at this point in his career. And all I said was he reminded me of a good Roy Aitken, and I think he can progress a bit like Roy Aitken. And he's proven us right. He's proven us He's proven us wrong in a sense that he is as good. He's a good player. Let's get back to the call. Yeah, praise for the manager. There's not many folks saying, "Oh, that's rubbish side to side Brendan ball." Now, is there? There's nobody talking about a missing Ange ball, and this is one channel that will pull you up for that. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people saying we miss Ange ball, but we certainly don't miss it now. Anyway, not the way that this Celtic team's playing. Palma is Palma as good as Jota? Malcolm McKenzie says, "Mm, not yet, not yet." I'm going to say. But if he keeps on progressing the way that he's going, and if he keeps on scoring goals the way he's going, he will be better than Jota. There's a statement. Will we sell him for 25 million? You will never know until another couple of years down the line. Sanford Celtic was going to say he's the Irish Van Dyke. Liam Scales is the Irish Van Dyke. Hearts. Hearts going to be a hard game, Baz, in 2 weeks' time. Yes, it will be. But they drew. They drew today at Hearts. They drew at home with Hibs. When was the last time Hibs got any kind of result? I was expecting Hearts to over leapfrog their cousins for the Ibrox today, and they didn't. They let us down. And I was a certain friends, Stevie Boy, with a kiss. Oh, jeez. Getting back carried away, comparing Rio Hatate to Beckham. And I'm talking about the fact that when a player's out of form, and the way that Beckham did in that World Cup, under people were saying that he wasn't up for it, he wasn't looking like he wasn't fit, he was this, he was that, and everything. And then Beckham came on and changed the game, changed the World Cup for England, and that's what I'm making a comparison about. People were saying that Rio Hatate wasn't should have been dropped. I was saying it as well. There was a lot of people, 61% of a vote on Friday night said that he should be dropped. You know, and then Rio Hatate goes, wait a minute, do you know Hodmasaki? Oh, anyway, Liam Mick. Right. And who exactly says Ali Jones? Aya. Okay, Baz, I'll let you off. Says Keith. Yes, sir. The one player who really impressed me is Hart. Hart's changed his game this season. Hart's played he's changed his game this season, and it's good that we're not playing Ange ball, right? It's good that we're not passing the ball straight out to defenders, and Hart giving us an absolute nightmare. I think when Brendan Rodgers came in, he sat down with all the players individually and said, "What is your best position? What do you like playing?" You know, and they sat down as a team and spoke about the way that they want to play and the way the attacking football they want to play. And I think Mappy says Jolly Rodgers ball. I think Brendan Rodgers brings out the best in players, and not just on the pitch. I'm talking about personally, and that's the difference between both managers. Brendan likes to know everything. He's a bit like old Alex Ferguson. He's a bit like Alex Ferguson when Alex Ferguson went to Man United. You know, he wanted to know everything about the players, from who they dated to everything, so that they knew outside football they had a nice level sort of lifestyle and they weren't getting carried away with stuff. Um, and I think Rodgers is like that. He's a proper old school manager that wants to know everything about the player so that he can help that player come on and be right. Come on, you put the ball. No, I'm not going to ball. I'm doing the YouTube live. Come on. The dogs want to play ball. Anyway, Wee Rio is back, says Catholic Rebel. Jolly Rogers. Jeffrey says, do you still think we need a left back? I've never said we needed a left back. A lot of people on the channel said we needed a left back. And Greg Taylor's went, wait a minute, if he's saying Hod Masaki, I'm saying Hod my pint. It's wee Greg Taylor. And he's like, you're not taking this jumper off me. And I still say, if he scored that goal today, it would have been an absolute cracker. Kieran says, I'm signing Hart up for 2 UFC fights. Oh my goodness. Hearts and Hibs next 2 league games going to be tough, says Stephen. Yes, they will. That'll take care of itself after the international break. It's just about making sure that we don't have any players come back that are not fit, because it's international breaks that seem to be doing us just now. Coming back. Who's the first man? It's all about Brendan. It's right. Don't worry, Rodgers won't kick a football football boot at Taiti like Ferguson did Beckham when he was off form. And he kicked the boot at him, didn't he? Cut his eye, didn't he? I remember that. Yeah, that was fun. That must have been real fun. Ange loves Rog. Tatty's on form like Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard talks a good game, and that's about it. Could he have been 5 or 6 today? Yes, it could have been. We are on. I did say it's going to take until. I mean, I've been consistent in saying this. It's going to take until the end of October until we start clicking as a team. Well, it's the beginning of October, and we've started clicking like a team. So I'm getting proved wrong by Celtic, thankfully, and it's fantastic news. I think we'll lose 3-0 to Atletico Madrid. Stephen, just bring us all back down to earth. Let us enjoy the moment, at least. Let us enjoy the moment, but then you just bring us back down to earth and say that we're going to get beat by Atletico Madrid. Cheers. Ruined my night. Absolutely ruined. Anyway, Hart comes out and just kills. Yep, he does. Kilmarnock had one shot at goal thanks to the ref, says Mappy. He did. He had one shot. They had one shot due to the fact that he didn't even look at the VAR. He didn't give anything for Celtic. They've been a bit late with their videos. They playing that. Let me just check. Nothing. Right, right. No, let's get back to the comments. Second looked offside. Very polite things. Confident within the Champions League we'll create something special. Yeah, said Ray. He's very positive about things and he's confident that we'll get something at the Champions League. Looking good for 2024. It's looking well. It's looking as if it's going to be a fantastic end to the year for us Celtic fans. Palma blew Jota's goal out of the water. I think so. He knows the way to go, and he is now undroppable. It's all about getting his fitness up now, and Farewell troops another 3 points in the bag. Palmer looks good. Big Scales putting his critics. Hatate redeemed himself. Yes, did more. Hatate did more than redeem himself today. We need a striker and a goalkeeper in January. I'm losing patience with. Oh, you can't lose patience with O just yet because he's not getting the time on the pitch. He's not getting the time on the pitch to actually prove anything. It does need more game time. I'd like to see him getting brought on about the 75th minute or the 70th minute. Just give him that little bit, 20 minutes. And then, do you know, if Kyogo's not scored by the 75th minute, you know that Kyogo you could turn it like that. And it's it's difficult. Maybe we need, when we go 3-0 up or 3-1 up, why don't we change it to going two up front? I don't know why Brendan doesn't try that. But then, modern day football managers don't like going two up front. Let's get back to some of the comments. I'm going to have to skip through some of these. Huns be lucky to get a point tomorrow. Get your money on Paisley tomorrow, 5-1. I get it now. Jeff Ray says, I don't think Madrid will beat us at home. Now that we're starting to kick on. I'm staying confident, says Jeff. 9 signings, 20 million spent. But we need new players. 70 million in the bank. Keep it to the summer. Buy better, says Matt. We brought 9 signings in the summer. Some of these signings not even going to get on the bench this season. It shows you how good. You look at the team. The team's obviously still on the screen along here. And when you look at the bench, you've got Bain, Phillips, Yang, Tomoki Awata, Bernardo, Forrest, and Ralston. That's pretty much going to be your bench for the next couple of weeks unless someone gets injured. Now, who's going to get injured? Ralston's not going to get injured because he doesn't get a game for Scotland. Forrest isn't going to get injured because he's not going to get picked for Scotland either. And Phillips, he's obviously not going to get picked for England because he's never even played for Liverpool. The players that you then got, Bernardo, he plays for Portugal, but he's not on the first team pick at the moment. You've got Yang, if he gets injured, I can't see that. And then you've got who do you then bring in? Who do you drop from the bench to then bring in? League victory party in December. Let's not get carried away. Let's not be disrespectful to the rest of the league. Where was that Hatate on Wednesday? Says Steve. Yeah, where was that Hatate on Wednesday? If that Hatate turned up on Wednesday, it could have been a completely different game. Soon if Palma plays like that, we'll be saying, who's Jota? Someone asked me in the pub today, will Jota come back to Celtic? And I've said, no, Celtic don't need them back when you've got Lewis Palma playing like that. And Lewis Palma, I've said it for weeks now, Lewis Palma needed the nod before Yang. Yang might be a bit more physical, but Lewis Palma knows the way to go. He's done it again. That's a third game on the trot. When you've got someone that's that confident in his scoring ability and to take that ball down with his foot, control it, and then take a shot from way outside the box, you cannot drop a player like that, I'm afraid. You cannot drop a player like that. Absolutely brilliant. Stop subbing Kyogo, especially if it hasn't scored. Stop subbing Kyogo, says Barry. But then how does O get any game time? If Kyogo's not scored, you need to take him off because then we need to try and give the other striker some game time. And that was one of the reasons that Big Greek left because he wasn't getting game time. Scales is like a new signing in defence, like a rock is composed and quality. And exactly, Ray. Exactly. He is Palmer more robust than Jota. He maybe doesn't get past players with as ease as what Jota did. Jota got past players and he created more assists. I think once Lewis Palma gets into his game, He could potentially be better than Jota, and that's something to be said. Can you imagine if we sold him for 25 million in a couple of years? Jesus, there'd be an outrage. Well, it's because we're Celtic fans. Oh, needs time. The big man, same size as Scales. He will come good, says Borders Boy. St Mirren will win tomorrow. He will be more versatile. Alec Ray wants Hussies at Halloween. Love you all. I'm just a better fraud, says Stevie Boy. God, Stevie Boy, you're on a mission. You had too much swally. Kieran says, no St. Mirren to win tomorrow. It's Ibrox. If St. Mirren win tomorrow, it's Ibrox. Asda. Alex Ray reminds me of Jake. Here we go. Let's jump down this. Marco, yeah. We are still to see Marco Tilo. We are still to see Marco Tilo. What's this? Alex Ray sacked tomorrow. 5-1 odds on St Mirren, worth a bet. Worth a bet. Right, I'm going to jump through the comments. Celtic's best performance was against Lazio. Do you think today's performance was better than the one against Lazio? That's an interesting one. And yep. I'm for the place, we man. What place? Mikey Johnson, if he keeps his beard, will look like Jim from the royal family the next time you see him in our hoops with spaghetti hair. Oh dear. Right, let's. Where's Celtic? Have they actually released anything yet? Let's see. Come on, Celtic, where are you? Videos. There's Brendan Rodgers. Right, Brendan Rodgers has been talking, and we'll do this. So we'll see what Brendan has been saying. Mike, put it up. Let's get rid of these adverts first of all. We'll listen to live. See.
Brendan, I'm not sure that the result reflects the performance in total, but is that as fluid a display in the attacking third that you've seen from your team so far this season?
Yeah, just getting better each game. I thought the players were excellent, and I would totally agree. I think that the scoreline maybe just didn't show our the quality of, especially in that final third that we had. So I was really pleased. We're very creative. We speed up our game in the right moments, and a combination of maybe just that little finishing touch, and the keeper made some fantastic saves.
They did that.
Yeah, it could have been one or two more goals, but overall, really pleased.
As a manager, you can see the fruits of what's going on in the training ground during the week through the display, and you can also see someone like RIO Hatate clicking into gear, as we mentioned before the game.
Yeah. No, he needed a performance like that. I think that's Rio. It's all about intensity. It's all about work rate, because when he works to that level and that intensity, then he's a fantastic player. And when he's slow, he's pressing slow. He doesn't have the same dynamism. But today, I thought he was outstanding. Great goal. Maybe at least another goal. But we're very creative, and his pressing was good. His quality was good, and he was outstanding.
And as thoroughly deserved as it was, I know Greg had a bit of a complaint in the build-up to the goal that was lost. VAR played a part in quite a bit of the game today, but are you satisfied that overall the reflection's fair?
No, I think that their goal, I think it's clear when you see it. I think the referee needs a bit of help, because he didn't quite see it. His back was to the play. The time he struggled round on it, he's got a fourth official, and he's got someone in VAR who's seeing that. So you see at the time when Greg moves, he's never... The guy's in contact with him all the way till he throws him to the floor. So it's a clear free kick, but they play it on, and then obviously it goes into the side where he's out of position. So we were disappointed with that decision.
But how pleased are you with the mentality shown by the squad? They were coming off was a sore defeat midweek, but I thought today, to a man again, they were impressive in how they responded.
Yeah. The mental strength of the team is very, very good, and we've had a run of tough games that we've been playing. We've had 2 Champions League games where we've shown that we're very close to being a really good side at that level, and competitive at the level. But you've still got to come off the back of that disappointment show your competitive spirit, and the players did that. And areas that we can improve on, we've got to see make better decisions when we're in the final third. We get decisions to make, to score more goals, but we have to square it up. We have to see those passes. But apart from that, it was a very good performance.
Good performance, says Brendan Rodgers. He was unhappy with the referee and VAR. You heard him say that himself. That was absolutely fantastic. Let's see what another Celtic player, Greg Taylor, had to say on the match. Also, Greg Taylor obviously scored from a corner. We're not talking about it. Greg Taylor scored from a corner. And
congratulations, that's a good 3 points and a dominant display.
Yeah, I agree. I thought for 60, 65 minutes we were really, really good in the game. We created lots of chances and definitely should have been more than what the score was. But they get their goal, albeit I think it's a foul on me in the build-up. And then we react as all good teams do. When you get them tough moments, you go and get the next goal, and we see the game out pretty comfortably.
Yeah, that reaction was important when it came up, but also at the start, everyone else was looking for a response from midweek. Are you satisfied you got that from everyone to a man on the pitch today?
Yeah, I thought first half especially we were very dominant, good movement throughout the team and created many chances. Probably just if we'd been a wee bit more decisive with our killer pass or the final pass, we'd have been a few more up. So no, I think good control within the game and want to finish that block.
Is that a good little win to finish this block of games off? Means that we're ahead again, and that's the way that Celtic will look at it. They'll look at individual blocks of games, they'll look at it on a game-to-game basis, but they'll know that they're going into the international break, and they're where they want to be. They're at the top of the league, looking down not just only on the Rangers, but they're looking down on St Mirren that are above them. Let's look at the league. Celtic have played 8 and they're on 22 points. I mean, that's it. They're out of sight. There's not a chance. And let's go back to what Brendan said. Remember what Brendan said at the start of the season when he came in. And the Green Brigade put up their banner and everything, and there was people saying that he shouldn't be back. And Brendan says on the steps of Celtic Park, he said, look, I know that there are people who don't think I should be back here. He said, but let's come back here and talk in May. Let's come back here on the steps of Celtic Park and talk in May. And on that note, you can't ask for any more than that. Champions League is a pipe dream. I don't think Stevie Boy's been talking about the high bees, or are you talking about Hearts? It's usually the high bees, that song, Stevie Boy. Stevie Davis was managerial record in Europa and had a 0% success rate. Ali Jones says, because we're slagging him the other night, he just proved us wrong. So let's keep on slagging off Rio. Right. Let's get to some more headlines just to see what has been said out there about Celtic. And then we're going to call the video or wraps just shortly. We'll go there. Brendan Rodgers hits out at VAR. Rodgers reveals sit-down chat. There we go. Told you. Brendan Rodgers reveals a sit-down chat with Celtic star after the Lazio game. Brendan Rodgers said that one of the best players on the pitch. He says post-match, he revealed that he had a sit-down and a one-to-one chat with RIO. He said, "Look, I took him clips of the game, nothing with the ball. Every time without the ball, I said, look, you don't have that intensity or that level of pressure. I said, look, when you press, you will always pass well." So Brendan Rodgers admitted that he sat down and he spoke to RIO Hatate after the Lazio game personally. We know how the Irishman loves to make sure that players perform at their best, and he does like to get into the mindset of players. He says life under Rodgers Hatate will be completely different from now on. His displays weren't what they used to be and what supporters expect, but now we can kick on and gain his consistency, says Brendan Rodgers. So I knew it. I knew it. I absolutely knew it. Brendan Rodgers pulled. That's official. It's came out now. Brendan Rodgers did pull RIO Hatate to the sides after the game against Lazio, and he basically said, "Look, you're not playing good enough. You're not playing good enough." And what happens today? He ups his game. Brendan Rodgers did what any good manager would do. Any good manager. And let's talk about finally, we always end on a good note. Let's talk about a goal from a corner. So when was the last time Celtic scored a goal from a corner? That's going to be a pub quiz question. When was the last time Celtic scored from a corner? And who was it? And who was it? And then upsteps the one and only Greg Taylor to put a boy in. Anyway, Barry says we can go unbeaten for the rest of the season, Bazboy. Yeah, I think we can. I think we can go in and go unbeaten to the rest of the season. I remember Ian Jant going as interim manager. Let it rain down. The bear getting be told. Say, we don't care what the animals say, what they'll do. He's hearing a sing song together now. Right, that is it. I am done. I'm dusted. Celtic win convincingly. Brendan Rodgers admitted that he sat down with Hatate and said, "Look," and he showed them videos. Of his bad passing during the game after Lazio, and he said, "Look, you need to do better. And he had a sit down one-to-one chat with him after his subpar performance in midweek. He said, I took him through clips of his game, nothing with the ball, everything without the ball. So he's talking about his positioning. Brendan Rodgers showed him clips of his positioning and told him his positioning was all wrong. He says, if you don't have that intensity at the level of pressure that you need, at that level, he says, the game will pass you by. He says, when you press the game, you will pass well. And on that note, you've all got pass match from me tonight. Have a fantastic evening, the Celtic fans.